Hey guys, this is HTOMario, and I'm going to be showing you a Terran against Protoss game. In this specific game, we're going to be using, I believe, a early Hellbat drop, but I don't quite 100% remember. So we're going to be going for the standard. We're going to drop 10 supply depot, 12 barracks, 13 gas, another supply depot on 15 with the SUV that built the barracks and immediately built a reactor and then scout with that SUV. And their base, we drop a command center since we have the resources, and then a factory. So now we have an expo in our base, and we see that he doesn't have one there yet. I see that there was a mothership core and a sentry. In my personal thought process, I was thinking that he was going for a fast expansion, so I was playing pretty greedy. Alright, so we have our factory, we have our marines rallied over here, because I'm sure the mothership core will want to poke out. We start another supply depot, and we get another gas. We also want our starport almost right away, and then a widow mine. The widow mine will help us defend any type of oracle attack and arrest. So at this stage I'm pretty confident that it's an expansion. However, what's actually going on is he's going the immortal bust one base build. So you guys are in for a treat. I go ahead and place my expansion on the low ground, and I put a bunker down. I'll send my marines down as well. I go ahead, and since I saw a sentry, I'm thinking I can have this watchtower, and I send one marine over here, and I see this pylon and the mothership core. At the time, I thought it was kind of fishy, but I decided I think I can get this mothership core, so let's go for it. So I got the mothership core, and I got the pylon. This reduces his high ground vision a little bit, but when I saw the immortals, I was like, okay, this is a problem. You know, back at the base, I've got double tech lab, I got siege tank, I have Raven and Marine. So I lift up my command center, try to pull back into the base, he kills a few workers, I lift my depots, and now that I have my siege tank and a widow mine from earlier, I lifted this up and I moved it up here, I can try to keep him off of my ramp. So the widow mine will help in splash damage, the siege tank will help deter the immortals, and I build a bunker behind here just in case he still tries to bust up. I build an armory, and I'm thinking maybe I'll try to go for a Hellbat drop since he's outside my base. I'm gonna have lots of minerals, little gas, so I'm gonna have to find a way to make those minerals useful before, you know, until I can move down. And I keep building these supply depots and repositioning my tanks, and I build a reactor on the starport so that I can swap it because I still need to produce tanks and get another command center with my extra minerals. I got one Banshee, just so that I could try to hold it off. When the attack was coming, it was really scary, so I decided to get a Banshee, and I can poke at the shields a little bit, meaning he's less likely to walk up the ramp. I get my +1, and I drop 2 more factories, so I'm playing as if I'm on 2 base economy, even though I'm not, because the moment I land this I'll be on 2 base, and then I'll try to grab a quick there to be on 3 base economy, so I'll be able to afford all these buildings. I produce Hellbats and starport. I rebuild my supply depots, and I go ahead and send this dropship out to do pressure. Drop these add-ons so that I can have 2 tech lab, 1 reactor for my factories. And with a drop, I try to snipe as many workers as I can, and I actually end up getting a decent amount of them. If we look at the worker count, it's 31 to 39. He's pushed out of here, and I'm comfortable in pushing down since I have quite a bit of units. We were able to kill 10 workers to his 8. He's trying to push up here, but with the combination of the splash damage, I didn't even have to use my Raven energy, he would have been decimated. Now that we've been producing so much off of these factories, and we have our gases right away, we have a considerable income. If we look at his base, it's 2 base to 2 base, and income-wise, he's able to catch up in the worker count, but we have 3 orbitals. We also get an engineering bay just in case of Dark Templar, or to defend drops, so that helps us out immensely. you know, when we get this third base, we want to start putting turrets up. But get a sensor tower here, in case he tries to do like another attack. I can spot it in a, you know, small ratio. We now establish this base, and I go out with more Hellbats for a drop. And he's got a good amount of observers here to scout. I used the Banshee from earlier to try to harass him, maybe draw him out of position, kill a few, check out his army composition, and I see Immortal and voidray. I decide that I was going to take this out with these Marines. Back at the base, I'm producing 2 more factories, and I also have a Ghost Academy in just a moment. Oh, here it is. So I have a reactor on my starport, I have 5 factories, Ghost Academy, and I'm producing a few Thors, Hellbats, and my +2 weapons is almost done. Back at the base, he has only +1 armor, which is not effective against mech, so upgrade-wise, I'm definitely ahead. Back to my base, I go in for the drop, and he does scout this, so I try to use a few Hellbats to get as many worker kills as I can. And again, we're able to kill a few. We're now twice the worker count of what he is. However, he has the superior army composition. Because I figured he would try to do an attack, I put down some missile turrets to help against the voidrays, and I put down some supply depots to slow down the immortals or zealots. I also begin Thor, Hellbat, Ghost, Viking production. This allows me to really deal with his anti-air a little better, and I retained some of my Marines, so I don't have terrible anti-air in my army. I also didn't have the gas for the +3 attack, so I'm getting the armor, which isn't that bad against stalkers and zealots. We also get cloaking for our ghosts. This allows, you know, we already have the ghost energy. We do a lot of ghost production. We get 2 more barracks so we can keep producing ghosts at a decent pace for EMPs and snipes. This allows us to, if he doesn't have any missile observers, we're able to kill a lot of his Templar and EMP his whole army. We also take this base since we feel pretty far ahead from the earlier, you know, lead that we got. So right now we're just buffing our army up with gas units. I do place these Thors in high impact mode, and I actually decided later in the game that this was a mistake. I need explosive payload to fight the voidrays. So for future reference, if you're fighting a lot of voidrays, explosive payload is much better, and then high impact load is better against Tempest. It's actually one of the reasons I lose this fight right here. So I move out across the map. He does get the Marines. I wanted them to get the watchtower so I can put them up with beefer units. I get 2 more command centers over here. I get an expansion here. And now I know that he's not expanded here or here, so I know that I'm relatively ahead. I felt confident that I can take this army, so I move in. One of the things I was not aware of is I scanned, and I did not see these observers. There's 2 observers here, so I actually send these ghosts in to go ahead and EMP them. But since he did see them, since the observers are coming up here, I wasn't aware of that, and he was able to feedback them and take out the ghosts. So now I do not have EMP with this army. Very detrimental since he has a lot of anti-mech units and storm. If I had explosive payload, these voidrays would not have been here. They would have been dead. The splash damage helps a lot more against voidrays than the high impact mode, although this does look cooler. So back at the base, I'm remaxing with building armor. For my planetary, I'm getting vehicle weapons, 3 ghosts at a time, 4 Hellbats at a time, and Vikings for, you know, anti-air, and then Thors. I'm also producing 2 more starports, so I can, you know, get more of an air dominant army since he seems to be switching over to air. He's able to snipe this base, and I wasn't able to retreat it, but I have a lot of command centers, so it doesn't phase me. I don't morph this one, and I build another command center here so I can build a planetary here with this command center. Also I have these 2 widow mines to help against counter attacks and stuff. Just 2 placed, you know, if he storms it, it's okay for me, because anyways the storm on these widow mines are, if he doesn't realize they're there, they're good at holding positions. Dark Templar here, but we already have missile turrets surrounding everything. So we're getting Raven energy. We're now producing Ravens, Ghosts, Thor, Hellion, Viking. The reason why there aren't many siege tanks is because, well, siege tanks don't shoot up, for one, and two, immortals are pretty good against siege tanks. Not with EMP, but the biggest threat here is the voidray, and we have to be able to get rid of Hellions. So Thor Hellbat is the go-to comp when the enemy player has air. Up until that stage, siege tanks are the superior unit, unless it's against like blank soccer. So with this battle, we're gonna play it a little bit slow. We do drop a point defense drum to make him think we're engaging, and just in case we were gonna engage, I decided that last second I was gonna push down here. I was gonna attack into here, but he does have an observer, which surprised me. So once again, he's able to get most of my ghosts, but I was able to get an EMP off on a few. Now that we're in explosive payload, these void rays are taking a lot of damage. They're taking a lot of splash damage, and there's a few Vikings attacking them as well. And we also have Hellbats over here attacking his mineral line. If these Hellbats were up here, it would be harder for him to take out this army. But it's actually beneficial for me for them to be taken out this mineral line, so I sent them there on purpose. I figured my army would do okay as long as I can take out the air. And then I can use these Hellbats to snipe out the mineral line, which he's now at 69 workers to my 80. A little bit lower, 66 to my 80, so I definitely have an income advantage. And we've killed 51 harvesters this game. Now that we've taken this base, we do make this one planetary for Dark Templar, cheese, and we get 2 more missile turrets here, just not only in case of Dark Templar, but because of void rays. He does kill this missile turret. For every missile turret he kills, I replace it. Minerals are not much of an issue, and I want to replace them in case he's trying to snipe them because of Dark Templar. I actually don't know how the Zealot died. Oh, a Thor. Alright, so he did walk into those Widow Mines and take some damage. Those 2 Widow Mines, so they definitely helped keep him away from the space, so they did their job. We're still building up the exact same army composition. One of the things I want to show you is one of the things you'll notice in these battles is I'm gonna have my Ravens on follow with a Thor, and I'm not gonna have them hotkeyed. This means that when I send my entire army over, my Ravens are going to be following my Thor and not just flying in so I don't lose them. I will have my Ghosts hotkeyed. So I'll use my Ghosts and then click on my Ravens with control if I need to spend their energy, and then automatically after using them send them back to a nearby unit, a Thor preferably, because they will stay alive. This makes it easier for me to be able to control them, and it's something I'm working on. So that's something you're just going to see in this battle. So watch carefully for those Ravens, and it might be something you can use as a trick too. So we got Thors, Vikings, we also get Transformation, Drilling Claws, and Infernal Pre-Igniter. So we can get Widow Mines in case he goes for, some kind of massive Tempest without Storm, like if he's caught without it, or if I want to Widow Mines to control space. Transformation, so we can do Hellbat runs, and then Blue Flame, so they're more effective. He goes over here, but a Widow Mine kills 1 Stalker, so I just send some SCVs to kill it, and then shift key the command to get back to the minerals. So I don't have to think about that. See this Dark Templar, and I decide to kill it so I can throw my expansion down here right away. Move this over, and then or move this one over, and then make a bunch of turrets and get my gas geysers, and that gives me my side of the map. Scan to see what he's got. I see Void Ray, Immortal, Storm. So I want to cover something. This is what a lot of players say. This is the ultimate anti-mech. What if he just makes mass Immortals and Void Rays and Templar and Tempest? You'll never win. Well, actually, it's still very possible to win. It's actually not difficult if you know the counters. And if you position properly, it's still a micro battle, a positional battle, if you will. Everything counts on position. So I want to show you that this death army that everyone says this is why mech is impossible. It actually, with the recent additions of the Hunter Seeker missile and the Hellbat, this is one of the reasons why mech is now possible, is because you are able to take these armies. Alright, so back to the battle. you will see that my ravens are following this Thor. I do EMP part of its army, throw down a Hunter Seeker missile. So with the EMP, the combination of the payload mode, Vikings attacking, and a single Hunter Seeker missile, he takes massive AoE damage. His air army dies pretty fast. I throw down some turrets to stop the cannons and in case of Tempest shots, and his Storm wasn't able to do much since I already secreted most of my energy for my ghosts, and I didn't have many Hellbats. I had a lot of Vikings and Thors and they were split up, so that definitely didn't help him very much at all. I do pull up my Ravens to drop a Hunter Seeker missile to kind of push him back a little bit because he was being annoying, and if it wasn't paying attention would do some damage, and I sent them back on this Thor. See, they're following this Thor, they're not in my main army list. We've now effectively taken out this base. We were able to preserve our Ravens, one of the issues I was having in TvP Mech, by the simple micro trick, and we do see he's warping in a lot of units, so we're going to just pull back a little bit, drop a lot of mules to repair our Thors. This makes them a lot more longer lasting. We also decided to drop an auto turret, but we changed our mind and pulled back because he was running away, and we are ticking over our reinforcements. Back home we're producing 3 Ravens at a time, 3 Ghosts, 3 Vikings, so pretty decent mix, and Thor Hellbat. So we are still rebuilding the same army composition that we have. Lots of spellcasters. I guess you could kind of call this like a casting mech, like, I don't know, like a cool name like Shadow Mech. Or Mario Mech, there you go. We'll call that Mario Mech. M&M. Not just like the rapper, but like Mario. We begin air production since we have quite a decent, we can do transition into air for one. We send these ghosts in to kind of try to snipe them. So the Ravens still unfollow. Since we got the duration longer for the turrets, these are still here, so if we retreat, they're still there to cover a path. We drop 3 more because we have a lot of energy, blocking a lot of Tempest shots. Ghost still attacking. Pretty comfortable lead. We're now firing upon this base, and he does have this base freshly made. He's got this one going on, but his air just takes a lot of damage, and I Hunter Seeker missile him to force part of his units out of the fight while I take out the rest. Once again, on follow on these Thor after they were spent. So there, I keep refreshing them to go into Thor. Back up again. My Hunter Seeker missile covering the cost. I took out 2 expansions. I can retreat. If you take out an expansion, you can take a moment to step back and rebuild your army to take out the next expansion, because he's gonna be weaker. He doesn't have nearly as much as gas to supplement his army, and we have a lot of gas, and we're spending huge amounts of gas. We're also getting a lot of Ghost Academy, so we can go into mass nuke play. We're still producing an orbital command or 2 at a time back at home, so we can dump it more into minerals, and we see that we have quite a bank. We're going up here. We scanned up here to see what's going on. We saw that it was a fresh base. Drop some more mules, and this allows us to once again rebuild our army on the go. And he goes for a counterattack, so I'm not terribly worried, but I do try to leave a Hellbat there to do some pressure, and I come back, but I have some reinforcements. And I'm kind of cornering his army, pulling these Ravens back, send them right onto that Thor. Vikings taking out the Tempest. Plus 3 air weapons on the way. And then Ghosts still in production. We replace whatever gets lost. So what's going on is he's asking how he's won this, and I said that one of the things you must know about TvP Mech is that this composition I've done before. It hasn't worked for me in the past. The reason why is because I wasn't microwing it properly. I was kind of throwing away the units, and I figured, hey, it's mech, it's beefy, it's strong, it's going to survive. But it worked for me for a little bit, and then I started retaining my buildings, and my buildings carried my rating up a little higher, my build orders, and my macro went up, and my decision making went up. And this is another one of the things that I've decided to improve was my push ethic, and that's, you know, the specific way of how I handle the ravens. And in the past I wasn't able to retain ravens or ghosts, and this caused me a huge problem. Now over the course of the game I was able to maintain a lot of ravens, so this army just keeps being deadly because of I can force him to run away. I have a lot of splash, I have a lot of point defense drones, so it's really actually down to a micro fight. His goal is to get rid of the ghosts and the ravens, and then just, you know, kill the beefy units without their support. I've never let him kill the ravens. He's gotten maybe a few kills. This allows us to be very cost effective. If you can see, he's got 20,000 more resources went away because he was never able to kill these casters that are pumping out free damage and free support for his actual units. He was having the same problem I was having, and that he was throwing away Templar and not retaining them after he spent their energy. I was spending the energy on my ravens, but I was retaining them, so he lost a lot more resources. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and thanks for watching. Please remember to follow me, subscribe, and, you know, I do stream every day at the same time, you know, at twitchtv.com/HTOMario. Follow my Twitter at HFMario, #HFMario, and I do try to give some advance, if I remember, to when I'll be streaming, how long I think it will be, or when from the post date I will be streaming, so you can see live games, ask questions live. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Please tell your friends, spread the channel. I think I put a lot of effort into these videos, and a lot of time. Definitely a lot of time. So I hope you guys appreciate, you know, me showcasing my mech style, even though it may give my opponents, who I face a lot of people, the same people, it gives them an opportunity to counter my style. But you know, it's ever evolving, ever adapting. So I like to share what I know and then keep growing my style and keep growing my rating. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show.